Hey everyone, I'm Kirsten and that's Jeannie with Six Figure Business Coaching. And we love helping our clients learn how to market their businesses better and use a marketing virtual assistant to do the majority of the task. And we have well-trained, well-qualified virtual assistants, and we love pairing them with our awesome clients. Today, we're going to talk about how do you become like the CEO of your business? We all started our business and we were like the worker bees and we wore every hat, right? You're doing everything, bookkeeping, marketing, client proposals, client work, you're doing everything. So today we're really excited to talk about becoming the CEO of your business and taking it to the next level.
I'm excited to talk about this topic, and it's so funny because I can relate it so much back to when I went from an employee to an entrepreneur, and then learned all about like how I had done a good thing for myself, but I had also created a job for myself, because if I took time off or if I did something else, then my work wasn't getting done. There wasn't anybody, and no backup here.
Yes, exactly.
So, you really have to get into the mindset. And then especially when you're wanting to grow and expand, you get your initial clients in and you start to get things rolling. And then all of a sudden it's, okay, now I really want to build this. How do I get all this stuff done?
Yeah.
And it really is a mindset shift from how can I get all these tasks done to how can I outsource some of this because I can't get all of this done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes me think about the book, I think it's E-Myth, that talks about working on your business versus working in your business. And the way I always explain it is when you're working in your business, that's how you earn a paycheck, right? Those are all the things that you're doing so you can bring home a paycheck and pay your bills. But working on your business, that's how you build an empire. That's when you're doing all the strategic thinking and you're really thinking about how to grow that business and take it to the next level. But often the amount of time that you have to work on your business gets smaller and smaller as you get busier, which you need to do in order to bring home a paycheck, right? To the point where you're just maxed out. You're not at all working on your business. You're just working in your business and you don't know how to move forward. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And it is, like you said, it is a huge mind shift of changing from just being the worker bee to literally being the CEO. So why don't we start off by talking about what types of tasks are you doing when you're working in your business? And those are things we don't really think about all of the time, but those are things like marketing your business, doing your bookkeeping, your client work, you're hiring a bookkeeper to help you out. That's all working in your business. It's the day-to-day. So it's out networking, it's networking online, it's joining Facebook groups, it's creating content, it's figuring out your pricing, trying to figure out, do you need to raise your pricing, things like that. Your pricing is all about how successful you're gonna be and how profitable you're gonna be. But what happens is people set their pricing when they first start their business. They never take time to work on their business to look at the pricing that they set and to figure out if it's still the right pricing. And so when you think about working on your business, that is all about strategy. That's when you're thinking about a strategic marketing plan so that you spend less and less time marketing, but you're creating better and more content. It's when you're thinking about your business plan. Should you eliminate some services? Should you add on some services? Do you need to change your pricing? And then more importantly, it's about creating SOPs, standard operating procedures. These are the things that allow you to build a team so you can run your business. And it's really important if you want to have more and more time for the bigger picture things, is you've got to create that structure. And I feel like that's where a lot of people are challenged because they just don't know how to create that structure.
Yeah, it's so funny that you mentioned the E-Myth book, because I think that was the first book that you had me read to understand the difference between the worker bee and the person who's kind of strategically planning what's happening in the business. Because, both need to be done, but they don't all need to be done by you.
Right.
And it makes total sense in the beginning for you to be the one doing everything, because you're going to learn like the best ways to make things happen and putting together all the different tasks that need to be done. But the sooner that you can turn over some of that the better. And I remember Kirsten was adamant that when she came into my office and just saw receipts everywhere, that, okay, this is clearly not an area that is your superpower and you need to give that to someone else. Let's figure out how to strategically do that with the income that you have. And there's a lot of creative ways to do that too. But I just remember feeling like after I handed that over to a bookkeeper, I was like, oh, it was like, because I looked at it every day and I beat myself up for not doing it and not putting a plan together and not wanting to do it. And at the end of the day, that's okay. You just need to find someone who does love to do that, who that is their superpower, and that's what they want to take off your plate. So, yeah.
And I think what happens is, like you said, superpowers. We all have things that we're really great at and we love doing, and that's why we started our business, right? But then it comes with so many other things that we don't want to do. Like, I do not want to log into Canva and create social media posts. I do not want to edit videos. I do not want to update my website. These are things I don't want to spend time doing. It's not in my unique abilities. It's not the best use of my time. So it's really important to delegate that and to outsource it. And it's really funny. I was thinking about, before this call today, I was thinking about how when you think about like tech companies, big tech companies go for these big seed rounds of money. Like, they're getting millions of dollars in the door from the beginning so that they can put the right people in the right place, right? So people that are starting those bigger level businesses, they are not doing everything from day one. They're usually smart enough to get the money in the door to help them finance a team that can do things. Now, if you think back to, I think it was Apple, didn't they start like in their garage, like one person and two people? And yeah, so in the beginning, even they were doing everything. But the sooner that you can bring on people to support you, and that's what it really is, it's about having support people doing things for you that allows you to do the things that really make the money in the business. And obviously, most of our clients and the people that we work with are not starting businesses where they're going to run out and get seed money. They're not getting millions of dollars in the door. But in this day and age with a global economy, you can bring someone on to help you grow your business for as little as $200 a month. That's what we pay most of our marketing virtual assistants, and they're able to keep our clients' businesses marketed every week after week after week so that they're building their brand, they're getting clients in the door consistently, and that makes a big difference. And I think that we just have to look at it differently. The sooner the better is that I'm not a solopreneur. I don't have to be a solopreneur. I'm an entrepreneur and I need to have support. I deserve to have support. And I think it's just so important. And we look around at all these other businesses and we compare ourselves, right? I know next week we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. And so a lot of times we're looking at all these people that are doing amazing things, but we don't realize that they have a team. They have tons of people helping them create their content, taking care of contracts, doing back-end client work. They have people supporting them. But what happens is we look at their businesses and then look at our businesses and we're like, why can't I do it all? And so that is a huge myth. Most people that are really successful in business are not doing it all. They're spending their time doing what they're really, really good at. And I think that's what makes you a really good CEO.
Yeah, I agree with that. And you made me think of Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And we see him everywhere. He's always talking. He's always teaching, which I love. And you would think that he spends all day long in front of the camera. Well, he does spend, I'm sure, a good chunk of time in front of the camera. That's it. He's done. He doesn't do the video. He doesn't do the editing. He doesn't do anything else that follows up with that needs to be done after the fact. And that's good. I mean, that's what he should be doing, because that's how he's built his empire, is because he is the face of the business, his brains, his strategies, and that's what he's sharing with people. But he's not even recording the video. He's just speaking in front of the video. Other people are recording it, like I said, editing it, uploading it, repurposing it, and all those other things that make him appear like he's everywhere.
Yeah, and you think about it, if Gary Vee is interviewing people for his podcast, he's not setting up those interviews. Like, he probably doesn't really even know who his next guest is until he looks at his sheet to welcome that guest. So someone else has set up that interview and they made sure that the person has provided all the assets that they need to market them and told them exactly when to be there and told them what is allowed and what's not allowed. So when he shows up to do an interview with someone on his podcast, It's just him interviewing them, right? And so it's one of those things that I think men are very good at delegating. I think women have a harder time because we feel like I need to be able to do it all. I should be able to do it all. Maybe it's part of it's I'm not worthy of having support. I'm not worthy of having help. And that's just not true. Every CEO of a business deserves to have a support team, and you deserve to have a support team.
Yeah. And it is getting into the mindset where I can afford this. And you have to think about it as investing in your business instead of thinking of it as an expense. It's investing in, especially for marketing, because we have to do marketing. We need to be in places where people can find us. And so that's what marketing does. It makes sure that you are in front of the people who need you. And so there's so many things vying for our attention these days that you kind of need to be in all places. You need to be on email. You need to be on a bunch of different social platforms. You need to be blogging on your website. You need to be on YouTube. You need to be in all these places, but you can also hire someone to take care of all of that for you. And it feels daunting at first, and we get that. And we actually have a whole system and process to help you with that or to do for you in our program. But just know that it can be done and it's not as painful or as hard as you think. I think sometimes we get wrapped up too, and it would take me just as long to teach someone else to do it as it would for me to do it myself. And I get caught up in this all the time. Kristen always yells at me. So sometimes I'll have to ask her, should I do this myself or should I give this to one of our VAs? And it depends on exactly what it is. But 9 times out of 10, it's no, let somebody else take care of this for you because they're more than capable.
And I think also a lot of us that have started businesses were very controlling. So we're like, well, no one can do it better than I can do it, right? And it's really easy, I think, when you have something like bookkeeping, like Jeannie hated doing bookkeeping. So that was very easy for her to outsource because she didn't enjoy doing it. But when it comes to something like graphic design or things like that she can do really well and she does enjoy doing, it is harder to hand it off. But sometimes that's not the best use of her time. But the reality is you're not relinquishing control. Anything that you have done by anyone on your team, you're directing how it's done and you're approving it before it goes out, right? So we don't have emails going out or videos going up that we haven't signed off on and approved. Even with Jeannie's bookkeeper, I mean, she's having meetings with the bookkeeper and going over her numbers and making sure she knows what's going on. So it doesn't really matter whether you hire an admin person, a marketing virtual assistant, a bookkeeper. It doesn't matter who you're hiring and bringing them onto your team. The reality is you're the quality control. And you're going to get the right people that are going to represent your brand and make you feel amazing because you're getting out into the world, you're showcasing how awesome you are, and you're serving more people.
Absolutely. So kind of following through with this, we need to find the right person and offer them the position, get them in there. And then we need to think about what happens after that. Because oftentimes we get them in the door, we get excited. Yes, we have somebody to help us. And then we forget that they're completely 100% reliant on us to tell them about the business, to tell them what the plan is, to tell them what actually they're supposed to be doing. So there is a lot of work to be done beforehand, before you bring someone on, so that you can bring them on in the best way possible.
Or like you hired a professional bookkeeper. So in that sense, you became a client of that bookkeeper. They were on your team in the sense that they were helping you grow your business, but they knew bookkeeping and they let you know what you needed to give them. So they kind of ran with that. So that's kind of a different type of delegation. But yeah, if you're bringing someone onto your team for certain tasks, whether it's admin tasks, doing outreach, doing marketing, whatever it is, you need to have a structure to manage them and a workflow for them. And this is where I talked about earlier, SOPs, standard operating procedures. And this is where, as a CEO, you have to kind of document how things happen and why you want them to happen that way and in the order that they happen so that you have control over that. Now, I think that a lot of entrepreneurs are more like me, like not great at that kind of thing. Jeannie loves herself a checklist. So she is great at putting together SOPs and putting together project management software. She's great at managing workflow. And that was one of the things that when we started working together, we were like, we had different skill sets for sure, which makes us a really good partnership. But what we realized is more and more clients are similar to me, and they don't necessarily want to put together their SOPs. They don't necessarily know how to do that. So we do that for our clients, but you got to figure out if it's just you, how you're going to do that. So if you wanted to bring on someone to do administrative tasks for you, how are you going to put together your SOPs? And I know it's like, none of this looks fun. I want to be a CEO, but I don't want to do any of those things. And trust me, we get it. But what happens is investing your time in doing the big picture things, laying structure to have other people support you is what's going to take your business to the next level. It truly is how you build an empire. If you want to have more than just a paycheck that you're working for 24/7, a lot of business owners work insane hours. That running joke is an entrepreneur is a person that'll leave a 40-hour-a-week job to work 80 hours a week for themselves. And that happens because they don't ever really think about themselves as a business owner. They've basically created a job for themselves and they do everything and they end up working more and more hours. And so there's a couple other things to that problem that you can do. If that's you, if I'm talking to you right now and that's where you are, you're working insane hours because you've got client work to do, it may be time to raise your prices. Sometimes what happens is, yes, we want to serve everyone, but if you have a lot of clients that are not paying you a lot of money, so to speak, and you're putting out way more work than you're getting in return, you may want to raise your prices and start letting go of some of your clients that are either really time consuming or not profitable. No business out there takes on clients or provides services that are not profitable. And that's something that we can't answer for you. It's something you have to answer for yourself. The other thing is, if you're out there and you're riding the income roller coaster, it's like you get busy, you do a really good job marketing, maybe you're doing outreach on social, you're doing great content, and then you get busy, so then you just stop marketing, right? So you stop marketing, but then as soon as you finish that client work, your income dips. Then you get busy marketing and your income comes back up. And then you're busy doing the work and your income goes down. So that's one of the challenges that everyone has. And I think it's so important to talk about how normal that is. If that's you, it's perfectly normal, but there are ways to change it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, there's no one who will tell you now is the time to become the CEO, to bring someone on. It's something that you have to determine for yourself. And like we said, the earlier the better, because you'll grow faster if you've got someone else to help you.
Well, Jeannie just said there's no one that'll tell you when you should become the CEO. I disagree with that because I will flat out tell you. And I can give you a list of clients that will confirm that, right?
All right, let me rephrase that. There is no definitive time, like after 2 years in your business, you're now the CEO. There's no timeline, there's no steps. It's all you. And that's why it's so important to get into the mindset of the CEO as soon as you can. So then you can say, okay, hang on a minute. This is working. This is really profitable. This is not. All right, let's get rid of that. Let's put more effort into this. So it's normal at the beginning to try and do more than necessarily needs to get done. But what you need to do from that is refine what you offer or refine the clients that you work with so that you end up working with the best clients where they're paying the top money and you are loving what you're doing. You've got support people doing all the stuff you don't love, and things are running smooth, and you don't ride that roller coaster.
Yeah. And even like when you start a business, you are the CEO of the business. The problem is you just spend more time wearing the worker bee hat than you do wearing the CEO hat. And for a lot of us, we still love doing the work. We love coaching, we love teaching. So we don't ever want to just have a CEO hat on all of the time because we do enjoy our client work. But what happens is you've got to decide how much time you want to have that CEO hat on and how you want to start thinking about your business differently. It really is a mindset. I think it has to do with feeling worthy. I think it has to do with feeling capable. I will promise you, you are 100% capable of outsourcing some things in your business. And it's really funny. I think everyone thinks their business is super unique and different. And the reality is they're not. Like all businesses have some fundamental things that are in common. And even though they may have to do things a little bit differently when it comes to outsourcing, they absolutely can outsource and get some things off of your plate. And what that does is it frees you up time to be the CEO, to have that time to think strategically. And that leads me to another thing is I think just having time to think, right? sometimes we're so busy running around like a chicken with her head's caught off. Like, I've got to get this invoice out. I need to put that proposal together. I've got that client to work with this afternoon. Oh my gosh, I need to shoot a video. Like, I need to edit this. I need to post on social. Oh my gosh, I haven't had a newsletter go out in a week or a month. And so you have all of these things racing around your head. And so it's really hard to actually be able to think clearly about what you need to do to take your business to the next level, to grow your business. And I find that people, when I talk to them, they either have time or money. They usually don't have both. And that's the goal. The goal is to have time and money, right? So if you're just starting your business, you have time because you don't have a lot of clients yet. But a lot of times you end up spending that time doing things that are not going to get clients in the door right away. And that's a problem. If you are really, really busy, you have money coming in, now you feel like you don't have time to hire. You don't have time to step back and become the CEO. But if you want to have what I consider a real business, as far as like kind of the dream business where you have time and money, it's important that you realize that that's the goal. Okay. If that's not your goal, if your goal is not to have time and to have money, if your goal is just to work 80 hours a week and that's what you want to do, that's fine. But if you want to build a business that you're running, opposed to a business that's running you, it's about finding time to think about how to make that happen.
Yeah. And if you can't do this on your own, or you end up in that loop, I know I need to find someone. I don't know how to hire someone. I know I need to find someone. I don't know how to, and you end up in that crazy entrepreneurial loop, then I can tell you what made all the difference in the world was getting a business coach, was finding Kirsten, was finding someone who could send me down that path that I didn't know how to do on my own. So it's okay if you don't know how to do it, but you need to either hire a coach or join a program that will help you. And I'll tell you, the benefits of that are far and wide. If you join a program, you end up with a support team. You end up with people who are coming along this journey with you, who would then become your cheerleaders. And then you've got guides who are heading you in the right direction and giving you the tools and the knowledge that you need to build your team, to grow your business, to charge more, all those things that we want. So if I can implore anything to you, don't get stuck where you are. If you're stuck, move, make a decision. Hire someone, join a program, find someone who you believe in, who you think can get you to where you want to go, because just staying still isn't going to do you any good, and it's going to get very, very frustrating.
Yeah, it's funny. I watched some weird show the other night, and it was talking about if a shark stops swimming, they die. So swish, swish, keep swimming. So now I have that in my head. Swish, swish, keep swimming. Like, keep going. But yeah, for us, it's really exciting. So we had 2 of our clients break over $1 million last year in revenue, which is really exciting. And Jeannie and I are big followers of profit first. We love that concept. And so it's not just about how much money you make in your business, but it's about how much money you get to keep. How much money are you bringing home as a paycheck? How much money are you bringing home as distributions as the boss? And so those things are also important CEO tasks, I guess, things that your CEO hat would talk about is, I'm bringing in this revenue, but how much of it is profit? And how can I break that 6 or 7 figure mark this year? And it is exciting. It's really exciting. And it's one of my favorite topics, I think, because women start businesses faster than men, but men tend to grow larger businesses. So we tend to start more businesses than men, but we don't grow them as large. And that's okay if it's not what you want to do. And I get it, because as women, we're raising children, we're taking care of aging parents, we're taking care of the household. There's a lot more that women do, but you could have it all. You could build that huge business and find time to have that great life. And in fact, we worked with clients that have actually, the first person they hired was someone to clean their house and to do their laundry, right? So it just depends on where you are in your business. But if you're busy and you're bringing in money and you're really busy and cleaning your house and doing laundry is something you hate, then hire someone to do that. Get that off your list, get that monkey off your back. And then think about the time that you're not doing those tasks, but more importantly, think about the energy that's not being wasted over the guilt, the shame, and the stress that comes with not having those things done. And then that'll free you up mentally, physically, and emotionally to get out there and serve more people.
I feel like when I started my entrepreneurial journey, I'd always been a 9 to 5 person. My dad said, right, get in with a big company and stay with them forever. And like he did. And yeah, that didn't happen. That wasn't for me. But so when you get into the entrepreneurial journey and you don't have any like mentors or anyone to tell you that you're going in the right direction, or you might think about this, or you might want to do that. So being part of a tribe, if you will, a program, a team, is so wonderful to get that feedback and just to feel like you're part of something. Because most of my friends and family, I don't know if there are any entrepreneurs out there. And so it's very difficult for them to relate and understand what I do. I don't think my mom ever understood what I did. And so it can get lonely. You can kind of feel like you're this lone ship out there in the middle of the ocean. And that's hard because we're not only physically alone typically, but when you feel mentally alone, that's even worse. So once you find the people that you feel like you can relate to, who can support you, like I said, and kind of help you, kick you in the butt and help you move in the direction you want to go, that's something that's so incredibly valuable and totally worth investing in.
Well, that's part of the reason why we started this group, right? Because we wanted to give people a place to come where they could learn about different concepts to growing their business. Jeannie and I enjoy interviewing people on these calls. We don't always interview people, but most of the time we do, because it's nice to just learn what's available to you and to hear it from different perspectives. And so we're really glad that you're a part of this community, and we hope that the content we're putting out is helping you. And we're always here. So if you have questions and maybe topics that you'd like us to cover, please let us know, because that's what we want to do. We want to provide like just information and have conversations about how we can all enjoy growing our businesses, have the time just to build a life that we want, and have the money to build the life that we want. You can have the money to travel, have the money to help friends and family, have the money to donate to charity, have the money to just do the things that we want to do, and have the time to do those things. But also, I think it's about having the opportunity to serve the people you want to serve in your unique ability. So for me, it's not just the time or the money, it's about the work. So I think that's the trifecta. When you have the work that you love, the time and the money, that's when you've won the game, in my opinion.
Oh, I love that. We'll have to put a visual onto that and post it up.
Yeah, it really is. Because if you love your client work, you love what you're doing. If you're an interior designer and you love doing that, or you teach people about finances and you love that. One of our clients creates digital planners and you love doing that. So if you get to do that work and have the income that you need to enjoy a quality of life that you want, have time that you want to spend with your friends and family, then you really have got it all. And again, time to take care of your health, right? So many entrepreneurs, like you see pictures of them laying in hospital beds, like I burned out. But why? We all know that we've got to put our health first. And we all know that if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be able to take care of our clients or our families. So if that's something that's happening to you, because again, I think it happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, if you're putting your health at risk because of your business, you've got to step back and figure out how to change that. It's not worth it. And you're not doing yourself any service, and you deserve better. And I think that's one of the other things that we like to hear is when people are like, wow, I now have more time for myself. I have time for self-care. I have time to work out. Or when I am working out, I'm not always stressed out about what I know I have left behind that needs to get done. So that's the goal, I think.
I love that. That is the goal.